The storm and winds may...
Hi, I'm Terry Townsend, minister here at the New Concord Church of Christ in New Concord, Ohio. I want to personally thank you for joining us today via this live stream. The purpose of this stream is to simply share the good news of Jesus Christ. While we appreciate you viewing this stream, this effort is in no way intended to be a substitute for the assembling together with the saints. We recognize, however, that there are circumstances that arise that might prevent someone from attending church service. And for this reason, we provide a means whereby people like you can hear the gospel preached. We hope you enjoy today's message from God's Word. Please feel free to share this stream. If you're ever in the New Concord, Ohio area, we'd love for you to drop by and visit with us. We meet every Sunday morning beginning at 9:15 a.m. for Bible class, again at 10 a.m. for worship, and again 6 p.m. for our evening worship. See you soon.
You hold me in your mighty arms, forever safe from harm.
Song will sing verses 1, 2, and 5.
Good evening. A couple verses I want to read as we begin. Proverbs 16, verse 31. It says, "Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life." I'm looking over this audience, and some of you, like me, have some gray hair. A couple chapters later, the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 29, "The glory of young men is their strength, but the splendor of old men is their gray hair." That's Bible. I may have shared some of this with some of you Sunday. I'm going to share it again. Saturday evening, Carrie and I went out. We had to make a trip to Walmart, and so I said, while we're out in Zanesville, do you want to stop and get something to eat? And she said, yeah, let's go to Captain D's. Okay, we'll go to Captain D's. Wasn't my first choice, but hey, she had a coupon. We both ate for under $10. Can't beat that. And while I was there, we placed our order, and they said, "We'll bring it out." So we got our drinks, and we sat down, and I happened to notice right across the aisle from us was this elderly couple, and they were just finishing up. And I, just kind of watched them. You're not supposed to do that, but they just caught my eye. And it was cute because she had gotten up, and she had a wet wipe, and she was wiping down the table. That's something you just don't see very often when you go out to eat. They got people that do that. But she's doing that, and here's what I presume was the husband. He's sitting there, and he's just kind of taking it all in and smiling. It was just so cute to watch. And she had to sit back down, and I thought, here he was. He had finally, it took him like seemed eternity to stand up, but he finally got up. He had his walker, his cane, and she sat back down, and I thought that was strange, but she was reaching over. She had forgot to get her cane. I didn't see it. So she gets her cane, and so they both get up, and they start towards the door. I jump up. This is not bragging on myself. And I run over to the door as they were about ready to leave, and I opened the door for them. I just have always thought that's just something that gentlemen do. And he said to me these words. He says, old age does have its advantages. Nice folks like yourself, I had to write it down because I didn't want to forget. Nice folks like yourself will occasionally lend a helping hand. And me being the guy that I am, I just kind of said, well, you're not that old. And he just kind of sneered and he can, I'm 91. And hand in hand, they walked down the sidewalk. And I presume I wasn't going to stay there all night. I presumed that they got to their car. They were walking pretty slow. I got to thinking about that, and I know that Saturday we're hosting the annual, the 34th or 31st or 34th annual Golden Agers Day. There are several lessons that I took from that experience at Captain D's the other night. Number one, we're all getting older, and with age comes physical frailties. Ecclesiastes 12, 1 through 7, it's there, just read it. I assure you it's there. And those of us who are getting older, we know that that is true. Now, I know some in the audience tonight are younger, and you feel invincible and like you're never going to get old, but I assure you, if you live long enough, you're going to get old. And your body will begin to break down on you. But I learned in that also that despite that, I looked at that couple that was 91, and even though it took them forever to get from point A to point B, they still seemed to be happy and they were still enjoying life. And despite our physical frailties, we need to keep a smile on our face and stay positive. Especially those of us who belong to the Lord. There are two verses. Isaiah 46 verse 4, it says this, even to your old age I am He, God says, and to gray hairs I will carry you. I have made and I will bear, I will carry and will save. Psalm 92 beginning of verse 12. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of the Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. They still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green to declare that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in Him. So God is with us. I also took from the other night that we who are married couples, I'm talking to you, no matter how many years you've been together, you still need to take time for one another. I'm assuming that they were married. They were holding... Now, I know it's the 21st century. Maybe they weren't. But it is that generation. I think right so. And they probably been married a long time. And here they were at 91 years of age, and they were still out Saturday night, hand in hand, at Captain D's. It is true, Carrie, what they say. She's sitting on the back. I told her I was going to talk about her. Her dad said when we lived in Alabama that whenever they went to Russellville to visit his cousin, they always went to Captain D's, and they said that's where older people hang out. So we must have graduated to that because that's where we were hanging out at Saturday night. And one other point I want to make is this. This is to our younger folks. Kids, listen to me. Those of us who are younger, did you hear that? Those of us should respect our elders. And we should do all we can to help them. we're going to be there one of these days. And the reason why it wasn't that I got up to do what I did for a pat on the back. I did it because I just felt like that was something nice to do. I could tell they were struggling walking, and just me opening the door was a help to them. That's the way I was taught. Yeah, and I've got my parents here they're proof. They taught me. In closing, I hope at 91, if I make it that far, I'm still getting out with my beautiful bride and enjoying life. I too hope there'll be someone there who will be willing to assist me when I need it. But if not, that's okay, because I know God's got it. Proverbs 3, beginning at verse 1, says this, and I close with this. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments, for length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Righteous, godly living doesn't necessarily guarantee longevity of life, but it certainly helps, doesn't it? And so we need to do what we can while we can to do God's will, to do what's right. And in so doing, we're actually bettering ourselves physically, but more importantly, spiritually. And tonight, if we can assist you in your obedience to the gospel, if you want to do the right thing, put Christ on in baptism, all things are ready tonight. If you're here and have done that, but there's sin in your life, if we can pray with you and pray for you, we, as always, stand ready to assist you in that. Will you come now, as together we stand as we sing.